Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're welcoming you to the Monetizing IoE webinar, uh, and we'll be addressing managing ecosystems, building trust, and enabling growth as part of that. My name is Craig Bachman. I'm the Senior Director of the IoE program in the TM Forum, and I am pleased to be here to talk to you about three specific items within this webinar. One is I'd like to introduce you to monetization management and trust work that the TM Forum has been doing, and we'll refer to that as MMT. I'm also super pleased to have with us today Rajshree Char. She's from Ericsson, and she is leading the collaborative work that's taking place in the TM Forum on monetization and managing complex ecosystems. Also, we'd like to talk about an upcoming event, the Monetizing IoE event that will be happening in October. And so a bit more about that in a few. So next, if you're not familiar with the TM Forum, I'd like to take a moment. The TM Forum is a 28-year-old nonprofit. It is the global industry association driving digital business transformation and really focusing on connecting digital ecosystems. And so certainly this spans an incredible amount of both challenges and opportunities for the industry. As part of the overall TM Forum mission, the IoE group and the Open Digital Business groups have inspired innovations such as open APIs over the last couple of years, as well as new reference architectures, as well as innovations in ecosystem management. And so let's talk a little bit here about, there's no lack of hype around IoE, IoT, and all of the adjacent capabilities and opportunities that are needed to make this all work. The numbers are still significant. While drifting back and forth of trillions of dollars, it's still clear that the growth is happening across global markets in both B2B type of situations as well as B2C. So this has changed and caused innovations from a business perspective, obviously from technical perspectives, and how different services really are being created almost real time. From that perspective, I think one of the questions that we're constantly asked in the TM Forum is, what are the killer apps? What are the killer sectors and the killer verticals? And what we have found as we've worked in the IoE space over the last number of years, in particular, we've had 21 IoE Catalyst proof of concept projects over the last 2 years. We've covered some 13 different industry sectors. And one of the findings is that the boundaries of what are traditional verticals are changing constantly. And this is actually what drives up more value for the services. On the other hand, it causes more challenge for managing monetization, managing the ecosystem, and managing trust across all of these transactions inside of these new business models. So what does all of this mean? How do you share risk and reward across multiple partnerships and business models at a digital scale? So classically, you would have your supply chain, but in today's world, obviously, you could have hundreds, if not thousands, of participants in ecosystems, especially in multi-sided platform models for the IoE. And so with that, there's there's a cause for work and a cause for doing and working collaboratively on best practices. We land on, after some great work done by and initiated by the IoE steering group. You see on the right there, navigating the Internet of Everything roadmap of challenges. And this is a document that provided the background research and a presentation of what really are the key challenges that need to be worked on as we move forward into the IoE. One is monetization. While it seems obvious that this may be a challenge to share risk and reward, there's a lot of good things that have been done in the past that need to be pulled forward, such as revenue management, charging and billing, fraud management, and as we move towards an overall business assurance type of environment, monetization has to transform. The same thing with overall management, managing multiple partners in a B2B to X environment, keeping business models separate from operating models, but still making sure they're aligned is critical. And the last piece of trust. Digital trust has become such an important piece of this, whether you think of it from a security and privacy issue, or how do you manage multiple service level agreements across incredible long tail of digital services, and are there opportunities to use new technology such as blockchain smart contracts or beyond? So with all of that, that's a whole lot of definitions in a short amount of time. So I'm really pleased that to help demystify some of that and talk about that, I have with me here Rajshree Char. She's the principal architect for Ericsson, and she is the IoE monetization project team lead. So welcome, Rajshree.
Thank you, Craig.
Rajshree, I've got a few questions just to kick us off here. You know, I went through very quickly what's the scope of all of this and the type of topics it touches. Could you keep going with that and talk about some of the key areas that the IoE monetization working group is addressing?
Absolutely. You know, we need to look beyond connectivity of all things that's brought about by IoE. What I mean is companies have to think about new ways of creating value that goes beyond connecting devices to the internet. They have to reimagine their business to discover the potential to create new revenue streams. And while it's challenging, it's not an intractable problem. So companies can do things to see substantial growth in their business. According to McKinsey's report, I mean, there are several reports, but I've just picked this one. You know, by 2025, there's anywhere between $4 to $11 trillion of economic value that can be harnessed in the IoT space. So to seize this opportunity, companies need innovation in their business models, like you said earlier. So take, for example, you know, the simple IoT device from Amazon. You might have heard of them or even be using them, dash buttons. It's a small device that allows consumers to order, you know, household goods or even groceries. With this service, they've created value for the consumer because it's such a convenient thing. Think about it. If you run out of something at home, now you don't have to log into your Amazon account. You can simply press that button to place an order, and it's delivered to your doorstep. You know, I love this idea. And now when I think about doing laundry, I don't have to, and I realize that, you know, I'm running low on detergent. I don't have to worry about, logging into Amazon, placing an order and waiting for it to, you know, then come to my house, or, you know, you just run to the grocery store to pick up laundry detergent. All I have to do is just, you know, press a tide button to place an order, and it's there within a day or two. So no more hassles, right? It's made, you know, Amazon has simplified things for me, so I really like it, and that's the value that they've created for their consumers. So no wonder, I guess, according to one report, these buttons are selling like hotcakes. But the point here is that Amazon has created an innovative business model, right? By partnering with other companies and creating an ecosystem business model in which they have eliminated the supply chain to bring products directly to the consumers. And not only that, now they can leverage their new source of consumer data, from shoppers, right? If they're collecting data from shoppers, how they're shopping and things like that, and they can leverage on this data to generate even more revenue. How cool is that? Which shows that there is tremendous potential for return on investment for everyone engaged in the IoE ecosystem.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's super interesting because those kind of models are scalable, right? We've had projects where the smart manufacturing folks are using their own version of dash buttons in order to create just-in-time inventory management and configuration of robots, for example. So I think that's fantastic. But how do you manage these types of things? And so what types of achievements has the group accomplished so far, and what are your future goals on this?
Sure. Before I get to that, Craig, I just want to mention that, yes, there's potential for, this opportunity that's there in the IoT space, but there are plenty of challenges that to realize, this growth opportunity. We have to deal with interoperability, which is not easy between various IoT systems. There's an issue with ongoing security and privacy, concerns with devices and customer data. We have creating maximal customer experience is crucial. So a company has to decide, they have to decide on how to charge for the digital service, because to effectively monetize, they need to have the right pricing strategy, whether it's pay-per-use or subscription model or a combination of pricing strategies. It's important to pick the right strategy, the best strategy to maximize profits for the business. Service providers need to amplify their portfolio of products and solutions, to include platform as a service, network as a service, device management, business analytics, and so forth. So what does it mean? There's a need for monetization strategy. And so that brings, so to answer your question about what we are doing at TM Forum, in the monetization team within the B2B2X work stream, what we've done is we have created a monetization tool that will help companies design their monetization strategy. With this tool, they could analyze the pros and cons of different revenue models and select the optimal one. And in addition to this tool, we've also published a white paper, which is TR 271, that explains how to build this monetization model. And now this document is available to the public, and we'll share the link to access this document.
Well, very good. Yeah, this is clearly one of the areas that needed to be demystified here and needed some structure around, because everyone kind of in the ecosystem has to agree to it, right? So it's not just one alpha company deciding, it's an agreement across ecosystems.
That's correct. And I like to also add that, what's next on our agenda, I'd like to share what we are trying to do in the coming months, is to expand on this white paper to address new technologies like blockchain, explore strategies to monetize 5G use cases, and also we will create an online tool to design the monetization model.
good. Let
So
me.
exciting stuff.
It is, and I think on one side it is stuff that people have worked on. It seems like almost forever because it really does come from the OSS BSS environment of the past, but also new challenges for innovation. So with that, let me ask, why did you decide to lead this, and how does this work for you and Ericsson?
Good question. To reintroduce, Ericsson is the leader in real-time revenue management solutions. Our revenue management portfolio solves building and charging challenges to increase both revenue and customers. And it includes functionality that's required for digital transformation toward 5G and IoT. We have delivered many IoT solutions. And so as a team lead for the monetization workstream, I'd like to not only bring our experience and best practices in revenue management to the table, but learn how others are addressing the challenges involved in monetizing IoE. So I'll share these insights with our internal teams and influence the roadmap and strategies of Ericsson products and solutions in revenue management. So I'm really excited, and looking forward to this event that's going to happen in Amsterdam, and share our experiences there.
Okay.
Share and learn both.
Well, with that, yeah, because the clearly the group is pretty diverse these days. There are digital service providers, connectivity providers, the folks that participate in the working group really, I think, represent the ecosystem of IoE, and I think this is why there's been such high interest in the event coming up. Just to be clear, the event is the Monetizing IoE in Focus. It's October 17th to 18th in October of this year, and it's in beautiful Amsterdam. And some of these things we're going through so quickly. Each one of these are big issues impacting hundreds of millions, if not trillions of dollars. So demystifying the whole ecosystem piece, because this is the many-to-many challenge, and how do you manage those partnerships? What are the IoE revenue opportunities, and how does assurance play into this? IoE connectivity, it's beyond connectivity, but yet connectivity itself is still quite a challenge from going end to end in any IoE service. And so there's also folks that will be addressing IoE platforms, platforms in the sense of kind of an infrastructure platform, but also platforms in terms of multi-sided business models. We've mentioned trust. Trust now plays across all of this. This is not just have you applied your DDoS patches appropriately from a security standpoint. Obviously, trust is both a market, a business, and a technology issue. And then I think people are really interested in what are the monetization case studies, who has really done this, and what are the monetization strategies that work. And I know those are the things that have played into both the tool and the white paper that you mentioned. There'll also be interactive roundtables so that there's an opportunity to share and discuss the different models. At first, I think when we started this, companies started thinking, oh, business models and monetization strategies are a secret sauce. And why they might be, in some cases, your Amazon example or any other ecosystem-based example shows that there has to be a common language and a common understanding of how to apply these innovations across an ecosystem. So that's what's happening at the event. Some very interesting folks representing Philips, IBM, Gemalto, Schneider, and so on. As you see on the screen, we're really pleased to have such a diverse group of folks representing the IoE space. We'll also be presenting and talking about Curate FX, which is a tool that the TM Forum has built in partnership, and is about how do you model ecosystems and address whether it's monetization or operational issues with it. So we look forward to that event. I know, Rajshree, that you'll be there.
Yes.
So, one is I know you're speaking, and two is I know you're excited about the overall opportunity. So,
Yeah,
what will you and your colleague Elaine Hare be talking about?
This event is a rare opportunity to focus on monetization topics in the IoE space, like the name says it, right? Monetizing IoE in focus. So the 2 days will be spent focusing on this topic. So really excited. And what we'll do at this event is we will be sharing the work that we have done within the monetization team at TM Forum. I mentioned earlier that we have developed a tool which is targeted for ecosystem platform providers, digital service providers, and communication service providers. So, we will explain how to use this tool, how to use it to successfully monetize your IoE business. Because you need to develop a monetization model, and along with your business model canvas, and understand the various stakeholders, weigh the pros and cons of different revenue models and pick the optimal one. So, and what this tool does is we also, as part of this tool, we're providing reusable monetization patterns to analyze the right model for your business. And so we've created a template that can be used to capture the various attributes of a monetization model. And we're going to explain how to use that and walk through a few use cases. Elaine and I are really excited to present our work, and we're looking forward to hearing from other participants as well.
Very good. Okay, with that, we are doing a short webinar today, and we've gone through an incredible amount of concepts, information. If there are any questions, maybe to slow us up a bit, it'd be good, because we have talked about an awful lot in a half an hour here. So can I check in with our folks to see if we've got any questions?
So there is, we've got a couple of questions. One regarding the material that Rajshree mentioned. There was a white paper and other tools relating to what the monetization group is doing. So where can those be accessed?
So we are sharing a link, right? They can access that to download that paper. I believe it's on the slide. I'll be showing the... Okay, there it is.
Okay, great, thank you. And actually, this slide is handy, because the other question we have is about more information on the event that's been mentioned a couple of times during the webinar, and registration for that, and the full agenda. So all of that can be found there as well in the link on the screens.
Okay. With that, I'd like to invite everyone, because again, we talked about monetization management and trust. We talked about ecosystems. We talked about the work that the team is doing. We talked about the event and the opportunity. All of that, obviously, behind all of those things are rich sets of not only experience opportunities to work together in a collaborative fashion, but also the opportunity to leverage some of the best thinking that has been done so far. So as I mentioned, the B2B2X work is at least 3 to 4 years old and has been adopted around the world in terms of first starts in addressing ecosystems. But the work continues. One thing we've learned in working with the IoE space is that there's no lack of changes, and every day business models change, every day technology platforms change, technology innovations change, and people think of new ways of creating new digital services in this. So we'd like to invite everyone to participate in this. I see one question pop up here on the blockchain piece. Is always an interest, and so we do divide things up into execute things that are have been worked on and have been proven in the field. We have innovation projects going on, and then we have explore projects. And so today the members are very much interested in the connections of blockchain in various application opportunities. Some of them are around security, some of them are around identity management, and some of them are around things like service level agreements by combining with smart contracts. So these, obviously there's a whole bunch of work behind each one of these blockchain application opportunities. Be happy to follow up with the folks that are interested in that. Okay, with that, I believe we're at the end of our time. So I thank you for joining, and I certainly thank the folks that will be viewing and listening to this as we move forward towards the event. Again, October 17th to 18th in Amsterdam, and we look forward to seeing you there. And please don't hesitate to contact us on any of the topics that we talked about today. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Rajshree.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.